Hi, it's Elena Funtaroli from Cascate di Luce, Cascades of Light, and welcome in today's video on the white and last chapter of Education of Light, which is Educating to Freedom. The light comprehends the whole rainbow. And actually, when we shed some light within, we are able to identify, recognize which are the resources and possibilities and colors that we have available to us in that moment. And so it's so very important, and it's related to freedom, change, choices, and responsibility as well. There are many people who decide to change out of desperation. This is the majority. So they don't change until life tells them you have to, because you haven't listened to yourself, and so listen to me. So this is how it happens. And so usually relationships or situations really break down, and there is a crisis, and usually people feel like it's out of the blue. They didn't see it coming. Why they didn't see it coming? Because if we don't listen to ourselves, we don't receive the messages, we don't receive the guidance, what's really going on within us, in our vibration. And so we can't see something like that coming because we didn't have the map to understand the crisis or the change that just happened. And so in order for us to be more receptive to change and not be passive and change just happen and we don't even know why, we can slow down when we feel, well, it's a good practice. I've already talked about the sacred space of the intervals when we really reconnect to ourselves. And as much as important the action, so the doing part, it's has the same importance, maybe even more, the being part. So putting ourselves in a place of reception, because if we don't receive the insights, the stimulus, the indication, we don't go into action. And so this is very important, to have a balance in doing and being. And when we slow down, we discover that we can feel more. And by feeling more, we are more receptive to the insights that we receive from our inner being. Maybe regarding a situation, a relationship, our job, or whatever is the case, we can receive an indication so that we don't need to change out of desperation or need because we don't have any other option, and so we are really constrained to do something that we don't want, but we can change out of a desire. A desire of what? Of something new, something different. Because when we slow down to feel, we can realize that when a situation, a relationship, everything that needs to, an update needs our attention, because this is what change is, our attention. And so we can realize that we have probably outgrown a situation or a relationship, and we feel that the experience that we have done is completed, and we feel like moving on to the next experience, and so we have to change in order to go on. But changing in this way is very different than changing because we have to out of a crisis or desperation. Sometimes we feel the impulse to slow down, and it's important to follow this impulse, because when we feel it, it means that there is something new that is that wants to emerge, that wants to say something to us. And so we change our pace, we go slower, and we take the time to feel what is the new that is coming up. Because usually when we approach change out of a desire and not out of desperation, we can receive it in advance, and also we can receive it like a whispering of a new perspective, of a new vision, a new possibility. And so it's good to take the time to listen to this process and to feel guided and to follow it. In order to change, we need to be free towards ourselves and free towards others. Meaning that if we don't give ourselves the freedom to choose something differently for us, or if we don't give this freedom to others, we can stay and remain trapped in situations and relationships that are not for our highest good, because we fear change. Why we do fear change? We fear change because from our personality point of view, not the inner being, change is like losing something. It's like going out of our comfort zone and into the unknown, and so there is a part of us, the personality, that wants to keep everything as it is. And this is why often it can happen, at least that things seem to appear out of the blue, because we didn't want to go into the new perspective, the new path, the new possibility. It's very important to give freedom to ourselves to make the choices that are aligned to what we feel, and to give freedom to others as well, especially kids and students, because they have to learn to take the initiative, to rely on their guidance system, and to really feel their strength. Because if they don't choose, but they are always guided, they don't really understand themselves. Working with a family where there was a wonderful boy that he was full of talents and resources, and he used to take time for himself. He even guided me in a guided meditation, relaxation. I felt that for a boy of 10 years old was something amazing. But his parents didn't realize that he was a very amazing boy, because they wanted him to be more sportive, to do other things that he didn't really enjoy much, but he did to please them. And so he wasn't really free, and he told me that he did many things that he didn't even like just to please the parents, because he knew they liked the things that I asked him, and so he felt like guilty if he didn't do it, and so he went to sports, he went to do other things that they were not clearly his strengths. And this is, to me, the main reason why we grow an unhappy and unsatisfied society, because we place continuously expectations on others, especially kids. We want them to do what we believe is cultural, what we believe is good for their health, what we believe is good for their growth, and we don't really listen to them. We don't ask them, what would you like to do? We are all very much guided from within, but if we don't exercise this guidance, and if we want to always try to control others and to put our own guidance to replace the inner guidance of someone else, that is really going to make a lot of mess. Why? Because, I have already explained this in the previous video, because there is a false premise that if we leave kids alone, they wouldn't do anything. That's not true. We have seen that they have learned through modeling a lot of skills since they were born, and they have interest. They have many interests sometimes, but do we listen to them, or do we listen to us, to ourselves, and we try to impose on them what we want them to do? Because in this way we are telling them, you are not right, I know better than you know. And that's not the case, because we all have our own guidance system and structure. Actually, we have a biological structure, which is our DNA, and then we have an energetic structure, the structure of our desires that are based on joy, love, and freedom. This structure is like the DNA is real, is just vibrational, so we don't see it, but is real. And so we all have this structure, which is also made of colors, light, personal inclinations, aspirations, and passions and talents. And we have to honor this structure and nurture this structure every day. The structure of joy is vibrant because it's alive. And so we need to keep ourselves alive. We are alive when we can express who we really are. We can express our emotions, our thoughts, our visions on life, our words. And so we have to be totally immersed in this continuous flow of expression, because this is who we really are, why we are here. We are here to express our gifts, our colors, our light. And this is how we touch the meaning of life, the preciousness of life. And we are touched also by the preciousness of life, and it causes us to be even more expressive and expansive and enjoy in eternal joy. Ultimately, education is life, and we are here to experience life to the fullest. So look at your kids, at your students, like they have already this structure, they have already this power, this guidance, this light, and your job as a guide, as an educator or a teacher, is just to let it come up. So to put on the table things that could stimulate the children because they have asked for them, or because you feel that they could resonate with them, but not to impose something on them. Yes. I remember the Australian little girl of, maybe she was 2 years old, that she started to paint on the canvas on the ground in front of his parent. That is the sense, to provide a stimulating and fertile environment where kids can experiment and try and reflect on things, and so that things that they have already inside, because there is everything inside, they are finally able to come out through the different mediums and subjects and ways that you can find. So be creative, be enlightened by your own rainbow, because only when you are passionate you can give something to others. So we are at the end of our cycle of education of light. It has been a pleasure sharing this new model with you, and you are welcome to contact me for further explanations, training, or supervision, or anything else, I am here to do this, and so I am available 100%. And if you have found this education of light path enlightening, you are welcome to share these videos and subscribe to our channel, or to sign up to our newsletter to go deeper with the Shine Your Light method. We are here to shine, and keep shining, keep changing the world with your beautiful light, and especially with love, joy, and freedom. Ciao!